Hey man, can you pass the script?
Yeah, here you go, man.
Dude, this is a half-drink bottle of whiskey.
It is the script. Anyway, this is Nicholas,
Uh,
Hi,
I'm Dylan,
I'm Forrest.
and
and we're going to be doing our little top 10 years end roundup.
This is not official in any way at all. Neither of us, neither of us. There are actually three.
None of
Um,
us.
None of us are particularly special in any way. I think we all have YouTube channels with I think 2 subscribers.
minus
Yeah, dude,
18 suck a dick.
I have at least 8.
I could check what the analytics are.
Hey, bro, I have a lot of Twitch followers, so
I have a
Oh
video
yeah,
with 9,000 views.
yeah.
9,000. Oh,
Yeah.
aren't you wonderful? Let's just see how my channel's doing. Oh,
Over
983 subscribers.
what not what? Fuck you.
What? Fuck you.
My top video has let's see. Here it is. 409,000 views.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Shut the fuck up, okay?
Anyways,
Remind me to dox you on a later stream.
no problem.
Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, people have been saying that 2015 was a pretty good year for games. I'd say yeah, it was. And we're gonna talk about which ones we like the best. So we've got on all of our screens, we've just got a Google Doc that has a list of games that we thought were important that came out this year. The problem when you look on Wikipedia about games that came out this year, you get a lot of ports. But we've put 3 categories. We got the big three: AAA games, and then not so AAA games. Big three being Fallout 4, MGS5, and Witcher 3.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm gonna explain the less than AAA category.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where the border between independent and AAA is. Like, for example, Audio Surf was made and produced by different people, but it definitely isn't like one of those big AAA titles. The AAA category is reserved just for like those big AAA titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as an example, from the less than AAA category, we've got things like Magica 2, Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time, to games that are nearly AAA, like Tales from the Borderlands and Grey Goo, that were less AAA, that had bigger publisher backing. In the AAA category, we've got like really obvious AAA games like Splatoon, first party games, and a couple second party games like Bloodborne. So yeah, that's what we got.
And then, of course, we can't have a top 10 of 2015 list without mentioning the big 3 games that came out this year: Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, and The Witcher 3.
I already said that.
Did
but
you?
could cut
I
it.
know
Yeah.
I know which one of the big three I'd pick as my favorite. How about you guys?
Oh, I'm torn.
I get the sneaking suspicion that we're all going to say a different one.
And that's what makes it great. That's the thing, is then we can each talk about what we like about each one.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that if I had to guess, I'd say Dylan is gonna say Fallout 4 because he's a Fallout man. I know this.
Well, yeah, Fallout 4 was an amazing game, but at the same time, Witcher 3, once I finally started playing it, that game is so good.
Yeah.
Honestly,
agree.
I was happy with all of them.
I played of the 3 games on that list. I played one of them, and so it's the one that I'm gonna choose as my favorite, which is Witcher 3, which I just say is like, I don't know. I feel like it's not really a contest that Witcher 3 is game of the year. However, there's definitely things to be said for the other two. The other ones are certainly not bad games. Nick, you played Metal Gear Solid 5.
All the way through, baby. I got a 100% completion rate.
Congratulations.
I
on that
absolutely
means.
adore the Metal Gear series. Big fan. Hideo Kojima game. Metal Gear Solid 5, while not being as incredible of a game experience as Snake Eater or Metal Gear Solid 4, was my favorite game of the year just because of the story completion in the Big Boss story and the really fun gameplay, and it's just a fun open world game. It had a lot of shit to do. That's the main controversy when it comes to Metal Gear Solid 5, is that gameplay is a little bit repetitive because there's similar missions, and it has a bit of open world syndrome. That's its main downside.
How much of an open world so as someone who's never played Metal Gear Solid 5 nor even like any Metal Gear Solid game at all. I've played Revengeance Does that count?
Vengeance was awesome. No, it doesn't count.
Okay. It was awesome. No, excellent. Yeah. So is it like a mission to mission thing, or is it like just straight up an open world game?
Yes.
So you've got, it's actually kind of both of those. It's got missions, which you fly to by helicopter that take place in specific spots in the open world, and they're kind of like a story arranged missions. It's got side missions, and then it's got like an open world free roam where you can take bases and beat up Russians and kill children and, generally Metal Gear-y things. Compared to every other Metal Gear game, this one was a lot more open. Metal Gear is traditionally a very story-based, linear experience with a lot of cutscenes. Metal Gear Solid 5 had few cutscenes and was mostly non-linear.
Except
so it's a big departure.
Except for the slight deviation between the massive open worldness of it is when you get into a mission, the game will get mad at you if you leave the mission borders. Albeit the mission borders are very big, like a lot bigger than you would expect based on how that kind of thing works with other video games. I'm looking at you, Far Cry. But
Shut the fuck up, Far Cry.
but like Metal Gear Solid 5, it still has that get back to the mission, you're leaving the mission zone kind of things.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the weakest things about the game, but I figured out a way around that, actually. If anyone who's watching this has a problem with that, if you take a helicopter, there's generally a helicopter drop point at all. There's generally 3 ways to attack the mission. You can take a helicopter from any of the 3 ways to the other ones. So if there's an area you can't get through the base you're trying to assault, and you want to get through it from a different angle, you can just take a helicopter. It's like 1,000. But yeah, I like that game a lot. I think the other grievance I have with it is the checkpoint system. They're either way too close together or too far spread apart, and it's something that could have been fixed with like another 3 months of development time, just for someone to get a little more testing and put the checkpoints in the right spots. I've played for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, died due to a stupid error, go back 30 minutes, 40 minutes. That should not happen ever. It's just that is not something that should happen in a game this year. But despite all these flaws, I love the game. And I've never had more fun blasting Kids in America by Kim Wilde while shotgunning Russians.
That seems to be a very common theme this year. Despite all these errors, I love the game.
Yeah, I mean, Witcher 3 is just the one where you're like, well, there weren't any errors, and it was just fucking excellent.
That's true. Witcher 3 worked beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything wrong with Witcher? I'm honestly trying to think of things because I played 90 hours of that game.
Yeah, I'm about 20 hours in.
It didn't run very well on my system. My system is not excellent though, so there's that. Like, it's okay. I could get it at 40.
Really?
Which is decent.
That's pretty bad.
I played Witcher 2 at 60, and so when I finished Witcher 2 and went on to Witcher 3, it did not feel good. However, it's a very graphics intensive game. It's definitely true. It's interesting, right? Because you got all these games that have like realistic graphic styles, right? I feel like there are games that go for realism, and then there are games that go for aesthetic. And generally, it's like one or the other. Witcher 3 is, in my opinion, the best looking game that has gone for a sort of more realistic graphic style, but is not like focused on just having a very interesting aesthetic. Because like you take things like Ori and the Blind Forest, which have just amazing aesthetics, but it's not exactly realistic. But
and the fidelity isn't really there.
Right. Witcher 3 is just like you're just like casually walking around on your horse, and like then the sun starts to go down and like the entire sky turns orange. There are birds flying around. There's like it's extremely scenic. The trees will sway in the wind like at very far distances, which is pretty impressive actually.
That's actually just the trees sneezing. That's what makes the wind.
That was so bad.
You sure about that? Okay.
Dude. You know, you're actually like that little bit right there. That made me want to go out and buy like The Witcher 3 like right now. Just like seriously, I don't own the game. I played it on someone else's system. I thought it was fun enough, but I want to see that.
No,
That sounds awesome.
It's amazing. One of my favorite modes of the game. You get to this. I got to the new area. The game says that there are like 5 areas. There are actually like 4 because one of them is like a single room. One of them is like another one is like a farm, and another one is like a relatively decent sized like lake and a castle, but that's pretty much it. And then there are 2 like main big zones. Those are the only really real zones. But I got to the second one, which it doesn't let you get to that until pretty late on in the game, and it's incredible. It's like the music is different, and it's just this very peaceful yet beautiful string score. And I walked up this path that went up to a cliff, and then there was just this huge scenic landscape of like this Scandinavian ocean where there are like fjords and a lighthouse in the distance and thunder crackling, and in the meantime you've got this music which makes it it was really cool. I just sort of sat. That's the only time in a game where I've wanted a bench to be there, and I would have just sat on that bench for like 5 minutes.
This is straight up why I want VR. But
And then
yeah.
the one thing that I think The Witcher 3 lacks is just when you have an open world like you do for The Witcher 3 or hell any of the other games on this list, you also just need ways to just mess around and piss around and ignore everything else in the world and just be silly. Witcher 3 doesn't give you as much angle of attack for just being silly, I think, as something like Fallout 4 or especially Metal Gear Solid 5 would.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the one thing that I don't get from Witcher 3, is that I never feel like I have fun just playing around in the world. It does satiate my primal need to hunt things, but it doesn't give me a lot of things to just play with.
I would argue that it's not that kind of game. I think there are games that are in an open world game. I don't think all open world games necessarily need to fill that category, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, your opinion sucks.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, when I was playing Witcher 3, I don't have the most experience with this game, but just speaking from somebody who experienced Fallout 4 and Metal Gear Solid 5, I felt like there was just a lot of stuff. Like, there was just a lot of open world features. There were a lot of, like, little things to get absorbed in. Something's really loud now.
I'm adjusting in my chair.
It sounds like you're falling off a cliff.
I mean, I'm doing that too.
Was your chair made in the 1950s entirely out of steel?
It was made like a year ago, but it's already falling apart. It's really shit.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, speaking from somebody who experienced Fallout 4 and Metal Gear Solid 5, I felt like the open worlds in those games definitely had a lot of like little distractions and just ways to express yourself that I didn't feel as much when I played Witcher 3, but my experience playing that game was limited. Like Metal Gear Solid 5, you know, you can turn on a jammin' 80s Europop soundtrack, blast your way through a camp full of child soldiers, Fulton extract a goat. You know, you can attach a parachute to a goat and send it to your base and start a petting zoo.
I don't like
you can run away from giant Metal Gears while wearing a cardboard box with an anime girl printed on the side.
Beautiful.
Can you do that in Witcher 3? No.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I feel like this is
excellent.
this is now my time to go off my tangent on Fallout 4.
Go ahead.
And while I really enjoy The Witcher 3, and I did appreciate Metal Gear Solid 5, I think of these 3, Fallout 4 probably was my favorite of the release. If not only for the fact that when I opened the main menu and then the Fallout theme kicked in, and I just got hit in the face with just joy, but then just Fallout 4 is I'm gonna say this: it's not a great Fallout game. if you're looking for more Fallout experience, you probably aren't going to find it here in Fallout 4. You're better just to keep playing New Vegas. But if you liked Skyrim a lot, you're going to love Fallout 4. I know this is a stupid internet joke that just keeps getting passed around, but Fallout 4 is literally Skyrim with guns. I
So you
can't
say
I can't go 20 feet without finding just some tiny hole to go, oh, that looks fun, and throwing myself into, and then coming out absolutely covered in the blood and guts of various kinds of people, insects, or mutants, turning to my companion and saying, hey, carry all my shit for me for a second. Then going back to my little hidey hole that I found, this place that I love, and dumping everything in its own little container. And that's the best thing that Fallout 4 brings, is the fact that I get to put down the containers now, and I get to build my house and build my hidey hole to be all hidey and holy. And so Fallout 4 gave me what I wanted in just, here is a world, play with it. Do what you want. We have given you stuff to play with. There are things to shoot, things to build, people to talk to. You don't need to do any of that, but it's all pretty fun.
how's the base building? I heard that was cool.
The base building, while it's like, it does feel like it was kind of a last minute addition in that there's definitely some features aren't there that I wish were there. The base building is really fun, and I have probably spent 20 of my 25 hours just playing around in the bases.
It's funny because I've seen bits of it, and as far as I can tell, the base building is slightly better than the building in Ark Survival Evolved, which is really says.
Oh, that it is. That it is.
Yeah. Anyway, so we should, I guess, because we've been going for like 20 minutes now, should we just go around of the big three, which is your favorite? Nick, go.
Metal Gear Solid 5. I am boring. It runs amazing. It's got an open world with tons of stuff to do.
I didn't
It's
ask
got a
for your
great
life story.
storyline and 80s soundtrack. Next.
Fallout 4. It gave me a
Witcher
hole to
3.
jump into.
Witcher 3.
All right.
That came out pretty much exactly how I predicted from the beginning. Oh God.
So now moving on to our next category of games that I went and dug up is our AAA titles. And I'm just gonna run down the list just in case you're watching on 480p because your internet sucks and I feel sorry for you.
Oh, are you doing a video? That's it. I didn't know that.
We've got Assassin's Creed, Creeds, Rogue, and Syndicate both came out this year. We've got Bloodborne for the PS4, Dying Light, Evolve, Super Mario Maker, Just Cause 3, Mad Max, Mortal Kombat X, Sims 4, Rainbow Six Siege, Splatoon, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Super, StarCraft 2, Forrest Health.
Legacy of the Void.
Thank you. Until Dawn, Blood Bowl 2, and Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, I guess, do you want to do alphabetically or just pluck stuff out?
Pluck stuff out. I think.
Yeah.
Can I just say, right off the bat, I feel like I knew going very far into it, like early on, that Evolve was going to be not very good, and I feel like I called that extremely hard. I just want to say that and toot my own horn.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of an asymmetrical multiplayer experience is enticing to me because I really like the idea of that, and very few games get it right. Evolve was kind of like a failed experiment.
I don't think fundamentally the 4-on-1 idea is a good one. I think that if you're going to do an asymmetrical game, you should have an equal number of players on both sides, or at least if you're going to have a different number of people, then have it only slightly tilted in someone's favor, because what that means is that you're going to, like, you know, the hunters in Evolve play, as far as I can tell, because I haven't actually played it, I've just watched a lot of gameplay. As far as I can tell, they're relatively similar, but, you know, they each have their own mechanics, but, you know, you're still shooting things, but then the monster just plays completely differently. And the issue with that is because then you're only going to be playing the monster a fifth of the time. And
Actually,
so,
can I butt in here for a second?
yeah.
I played the beta of Evolve, and that's
Okay.
when I decided that I wasn't going to buy it. And if it still works like it did in the beta, how it was you got when you created your account, I put
Mhm.
that in quotes because it was weird. Um, you got to pick the four different roles you wish to play the most in order. And so I put, okay, Beast, Assault, Engineer, Medic. And so then for the majority of the games, actually ended up playing the
Oh,
Beast.
really?
And if I didn't play the Beast, I was usually playing Assault. So it
Okay.
lets you like rank what you like playing the most, and then you end up playing that, which was actually a pretty cool feature.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
And I would love to see something like this go into a game that just turned out a lot better.
Mhm.
Because just with my biggest issue with Evolve was this may have just been the beta, but the game ran like ass. It just like holy shit. I complained about Just Cause 3 on launch. Evolve ran like ass, and I when I finally was able to play it, it was I finally figured out how to get the graphic settings to actually cooperate and work with me. It was fun, but like the game didn't tell you how to actually play the game. It just threw you into a multiplayer game. And so
Oh.
my very first game, I was the Beast,
Oh.
and I'm sitting there thinking, "Huh, okay, so I just eat things and then eat them." But the game doesn't really tell you that if you're the Beast and you're not at stage 3, you cannot take on all 4 hunters at once. They have to be
Ah.
separated, otherwise you're dead.
Hmm.
And the fact that the hunters can revive also
Yeah.
kind of makes it much more balanced towards the hunter's side. If you have a team of 4 hunters that know what they're doing, they will win every game. It did not
Yeah.
feel very balanced in the way that it should have asymmetrically. And that's my biggest issue with that.
Well,
Even money grabbing aside.
I think you're touching on the most fundamental issue of it is that it's effectively just hide and seek. Like, you play hide and seek for a while,
But
and
with
then
more
at
murder.
some point, once it becomes balanced and the beast has evolved high enough, and I feel like they took on the whole evolving aspect wrong, because the beast is the only thing that can evolve and the hunters can't evolve. Then that takes out a lot of interesting strategy that could be behind the evolving. Like, really, you just want to sort of buff up the skills that you're good at
Mhm.
and just make those more powerful. But if they had, I don't know, some mode where it's like beast versus beast, and you've got to like try to evolve faster or like evolve to counter someone else's like move, I feel like that would be really cool, and that would really thematically fit the idea of evolving, because
Oh,
like you're fitting in to suit the situation that you're in, and that's the point of evolving. I don't know. I think
yeah.
that would be awesome.
And then also from my short experience with the game, uh, on the fact that the 4 hunters could win every time, another thing I noticed was that the Flying Beast, which was the paid DLC extra,
Oh.
unless you had 4 hunters who have gone up against that repeatedly and know what they're doing and have a chance of winning, the paid extra beast wins every time.
Hmm.
That
That
beast was
sounds
very hard to trap and hold in order so you could actually sustain your fire and kill it.
lovely.
Honestly, with everything that went wrong with Evolve, I'm going to have to say Evolve is the biggest disappointment of 2015 for me.
Mm-hmm.
It looked so awesome and then just wasn't.
I mean, but there are so many other things to complain about.
Really? What else?
Fucking the new Mortal Kombat game.
No, I
Liked it.
did not play it.
Mediocre.
I thought it was okay.
It's okay.
What's wrong
We
with that?
needed a full revitalization of one of the great, there's this great rivalry between fighting games. There's Tekken, you've got your Mortal Kombat, you got your Street Fighter, but honestly, Mortal Kombat's basically been out of it. It's been replaced by like Japanese anime fighters.
Blaze
As
Blue.
far as competitive fighter, like
Guilty Gear Xrd,
Blaze
though.
Blue, Guilty Gear Xrd. But you know, they needed something with more oomph to it to really bring the franchise back to its big three fighting game status, and Mortal Kombat X is just not there. It's good. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's a fine fighting game. It's just that they needed to reinvent the wheel, or they needed to do at least something great. And they did something mediocre. And because when a game genre doesn't really have competition's really good for games. And when a game genre doesn't have competition, especially fighting, you get Street Fighter V, which is basically Street Fighter 4, and you get Tekken 6, which is basically Tekken 5. And instead of innovation, you get kind of the same game that you're paying $60 again for because all the people have moved on to the new multiplayer. And fighting games are a highly skill-based, really fun and interesting competitive gaming experience that I think there's a lot of unexplored design space in. And having another one of the big three have a disappointing release, it didn't push anything further, means that they're not going to have that evolution anytime soon. Because there's going to be at least 2 years of DLC.
Huh.
But yeah, that and Evolve were my two least favorite things that came out. That were just disappointing. One last touch on Evolve, because I didn't get to say anything.
Oh,
sorry.
Busy. Evolve's fun and everything, but the DLC, I mean, that was just the worst example we've ever seen of DLC.
I think there's been worse.
Day one,
$190.
$190 worth of DLC.
$90 worth of DLC.
Well, cosmetic DLC.
Nope.
I mean,
Nope.
It gave you new hunters, which were better than the old hunters. The 2 paid beasts.
not on day one.
Yes,
That
day
was
one, there were
day
2 paid
one.
beasts.
No, that was timed DLC. You could buy it, but you didn't get access to it until a little bit down the line.
Only one of the beasts was later. It was
Sure?
only like a
Okay.
month after release.
I
But
don't know.
It was the Cthulhu thing that was a month later.
yeah, they already had it out.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that was a DLC fiasco.
I mean, I think when it comes, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it was. I definitely agree that it was.
You can't defend that. I mean, you can defend it because cosmetic DLC day one is fine because the art team doesn't have anything to work on. I understand that. But you just should not be releasing bonus monsters and hunters on day 1 or 2 weeks after release because those could have gone in the game.
Can I take the wheel, no pun intended, for a second here to talk about my favorite hidden gem of this year?
What?
Mad Max. It came out the same day as Metal Gear Solid 5, and so no one was playing it except me. And oh my god, I love that game. I think Mad Max is one of the first games in a while. It's one of the few games where I've sat down and gone, hey, you know what? That's kind of cool. I'm going to keep playing a little bit longer. And then over the span of like 3 days, managed to log about 20 hours in and play through the entire story and a good bit of the free roam. And it was just, it did a lot of things wrong, but it did a lot of things right. And as far as just open world, desert car driving goes, it was a blast. And I find myself sometimes, I'll boot it up, start a new game, and get to the point just where it opens up, just so I can drive around and fight all the high-level cars again. It's really fun, and it's a lot better game than a lot of people gave it credit for, and I'm kind of sad that it just didn't take off as much as it should have.
Yeah.
I got it for my dad for Christmas. He played it a little bit. I don't think he's played much more since, but I think he's been playing a lot of Destiny, so who knows?
Forrest, you can't say that on the internet. People will get offended.
People will get
For the love of
offended.
Christ, we
Black
all know that they're
people will
dirty.
Okay, send me
This is
send
gonna
me
be the best
the
section of the video.
send me the audio file. I'll edit it because I'm the one who fucked up. I'll do
Oh
it
no,
again.
too late.
No.
Too late.
Too late. We already got this gold.
Okay, I swear to fuck, if I see this up and it's not edited, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh no, I'm gonna fix it. Don't worry.
Okay, cool.
No, I will kill him personally because you're going
okay.
back to school.
Moving on.
Um,
Mario Maker that
Mario
came out. Anybody have anything to say about Mario Maker?
I don't have a Wii U.
It was fucking awesome.
do not have a Wii U either.
I mean, it's been something that they should have made for a while, and I think it was the perfect tester for the Miiverse platform. It's a good game. I just bought a Wii U. I haven't really invested that much money into it. I've got a Smash Bros. And I got the Mario Kart. But, I'm gonna be picking up all the good Wii U games, so get ready for some juicy Wii U footage on the channel. Shameless self-promotion.
Oh, yay.
But yeah, it was good. It was good. I know that it was good and it was fun. You know, and it's kind of like a re-release, but it's fine.
Yeah. What I think is most interesting about Mario Maker is how it ties into all of Nintendo's BS about YouTube stuff. Because, you know, they've got that thing where unless you give them basically all the money you make from your video, you can't put Nintendo content up on YouTube. Which, like, it just baffles me. Because
unmonetize and mirror it.
Mario Maker is literally the perfect game for YouTube. Like,
yeah, Seth Bling has been going to town on Mario Maker lately.
Oh god, I haven't followed Seth Bling for years.
Ouch.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I stopped playing Minecraft, so that's why. Anyway, yeah. It just it I don't get it. It's stupid. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, Nintendo is stupid for that.
Is there anything? I'm just like taking a look at the AAA list and slowly realizing that I only played 2 of the games on here.
Ooh.
I played Legacy of the Void, which was like
good.
It was good. The story was so bad, but I didn't care. And then I played Black Ops 3, which I liked.
Yeah, I liked Black Ops 3. I played like 20 hours of that beta.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't buy the game because $60 is really excessive, but it was a great mindless shooter.
Yeah.
I love Call of Duty for mindless shooter.
I feel that.
Mindless shooter is great.
See, I only played the campaign.
Bro, what?
What's wrong with you?
The campaign was really interesting.
You're
Was
wrong.
it actually good?
Yeah, no, dude.
Dude, press F to pay respects.
Dude,
Press F to pay respects.
let me freaking plug the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 campaign for you for a second, because it's actually quite interesting. So, what you're dealing with basically is you've actually got a little bit of a psychological thriller set in the future.
Okay.
That has to deal with some sort of Deus Ex-esque human augmentation, although not quite. What?
Never mind, that was a stupid joke. Go on.
Okay.
Did you say Metal Gear Rising Revengeance?
No, it's not to the extent that Deus Ex does it, but it's just like, you know, bionic arms and technology hacking stuff with your own brain. It's really interesting. It's like
Shadowrun Hong Kong did it better.
Ouch.
You know what? You can. I don't have to be on this if you don't want. But yeah, no. I thought what they've basically done is that they've added you can cast magic spells, which, you know, in the terms of the game, they're like, oh, what are they called? Like bionic abilities or something. Something.
Mass Effect?
Sort of, something to that vein. It's techno-babbly and...
Oh, you mean psionics or
No, it's not.
biotics?
It's not psionics. It's trying to be very much not magical powers, even though it's straight up magical powers.
They're biotics. It was
No.
definitely biotics in Mass Effect.
Okay.
You mean the green ending? You mean the green ending of Mass Effect 3, right? That's the biotics ending. I am not a big.
We don't need to get into this. We don't need to get into this. What?
Yeah.
Carry on, Forrest.
I mean, so when it comes down to it, Black Ops or Call of Duty campaigns are basically like those arcade shooter games where like you're just on rails and like enemies pop up and you shoot them in the head, and then continue. Black Ops 3 was still basically that, but it gave you so much like random you can like possess drones, because there's tons of drones in the game because it's the future. They're like hover drones and little miniature tanks, and you can possess those and drive those around for a little bit, and those parts are really fun. And then there are also like a bunch of sections which are like kind of more open than other sections. I don't. I thought I found it fun. There was a part of the game where I tried to get through the entire level using only a pistol because the pistol has the highest fire rate and a decent range. Just really low damage. Um, that didn't go so well in the end, but it was interesting while it lasted. And yeah, I don't know. I thought the story was, you know, it was definitely pretending to be a lot more interesting than it actually was. Um, because it really wasn't that interesting, but it was pretending to be interesting, and when things pretend to be interesting, they can be interesting. So, yeah, I don't know. Give the campaign a poke. And apparently, on your second playthrough, the story is completely different, which I have yet to experience, but that's apparently pretty interesting.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of a cool feature.
Yeah.
I
Also,
had,
it was like 8 hours long, which is
yeah, that's fine.
quite,
Fine.
yeah.
Yeah, that pretending to be interesting but not actually interesting thing is a pet peeve of mine, and it will instantly turn me off.
Ditto.
Because I just can't stand it. And I'm glad that you can be that you can enjoy that while still realizing it, because as soon as I realize it, it's ruined.
Yeah.
So what else did we play off here? Well, we gotta mention Splatoon.
I didn't play that.
I didn't play Splatoon.
Splatoon was fun. It was a big ass meme. It had some girls. I just want to mention it because it was another really solid game to add to the Wii U's catalog.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wii U. Why does the Wii U have the most good games out of any of the new consoles? Well, the reason why is because none of Nintendo's games are available on PC.
Yeah, I ended up...
And that policy of theirs works very well for them.
on this list, aside from the ones that we've already talked about, I ended up playing Just Cause 3 and Bloodborne as well. And honestly, those are probably going to take my number 3 and number 4 slots this year, respectively.
I watched the Let's Play of Bloodborne.
And
Okay.
Bloodborne, just because, you know, it's more... It's more From Software Souls games, and I don't know, it was just... It mixed up the system enough in ways that I liked, that I enjoyed playing it. Chalice dungeons, just running those over and over again is lots of fun to me. The new combat is so fast, and I like the fact that it's faster and that it's more based around dodging around, and I'm a ghost that can't be touched that'll then cut you in half in a single sweep. That's a lot of fun to me.
Spooky.
And it made me look... I'm really looking forward now to Dark Souls 3 because of this game, because watching the trailers for Dark Souls 3, it looks like they took the best parts of the Souls games and the best parts of Bloodborne and put them all into the Dark Souls universe, which is one of the most interesting and in-depth universes that I've never heard explained in my life. And in Just Cause 3... oh, man.
Wait, sorry.
So, yeah, go on.
Right before you start talking about Just Cause 3, can I just say that Bloodborne has the coolest fucking aesthetic of any game that came out this year?
That is very true.
Like, holy shit.
I mean, after a while, I get sick of either being in a church or a graveyard, but it works very well with what it's going for, and it's very cool. Just Cause 3 is amazing, though, and even though it flat out didn't work for me on launch day for the better part of like 2 days after launch, once I got it working, and now that I can play it, it's just so good, because all of my problems with the big 3, the fact that they're just kind of, they're open world, but not quite, and don't give you enough to play with all the time, Just Cause 3 is nothing but an open world with shit to play with. It places you in the middle of a giant, like, literal sandbox and says, here, kid, have fun. Our story gets you... Basically, you make explosions, and the only reason the story is there is to give a slight progression system so you can unlock bigger explosions. And then once you unlock bigger explosions, then the enemies get bigger explosions, and then everything just gets bigger and weirder. And, oh man, it's... hashtag train from a plane.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I think Just Cause 3 was fucking cool, but it just didn't offer enough over Just Cause 2 for me to buy it.
It had prettier explosions.
I think the reason I like Just Cause 3 is the same reason I like Far Cry 4. In that, it's not that it offered something new or different, but it was a game... It's like radically new or different, but it was just a game system and equation that I liked a substantial amount, and the developers were like, "Hey, people really like this," so they just gave us more, and I think that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Also, the ads that they did for it before it came out were like, they just sort of blew things up, MythBusters style.
Yeah.
That was kind of great. All right, awesome. Let's see. So none of us
played Blood Bowl.
None of us played Blood Bowl. I really wanted to play Blood Bowl, but apparently the reviews on Steam are not good. And
Yeah.
the game that I would really enjoy playing with you guys, but
Didn't get very good.
Yeah.
But it looks very reminiscent of like when I played Mario Strikers Charged on Wii, and I used to just destroy my sister at that over and over again.
Oh, I'm just gonna take the audio clip of you saying "destroyed my sister" out of context to just do things with that.
Oh, I'm gonna dubstep remix it.
Senpai. Oni-chan.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Okay.
quickly go through the AAA games, and then we can move on to less than AAA. So none of us really played Assassin's Creed.
I played about 20 minutes of Rogue. It's basically more Black Flag, except
Okay.
not as interesting somehow. I don't know, it
Okay,
just didn't
and-
catch me.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate, from what I've seen of my dad playing intense hours of Assassin's Creed over his shoulder, it's Assassin's Creed, but you can wear a top hat and you have a grappling hook.
It looks cool, but it's not my cup of tea.
Bloodborne,
Cup of tea, Britain.
Bloodborne, Dylan seemed to like it. Dying Light, I don't think any of us played it.
I played about 10 hours of Dying Light. I didn't pay for it. Don't
I
tell
didn't
anyone
know
that. It was interesting, but I didn't get far enough to unlock it. Like, you don't unlock all the cool open world stuff very quickly, and there's a lot of fetch quests. And I can't stand fetch quests for very long, so it didn't catch me.
Okay, Evolve, disappointing. Mario Maker, neat. Just Cause 3, explosions. Mad Max, driving. Mortal Kombat X, Nicholas didn't like it, I didn't play it. Sims 4, I don't think anyone
Bleh.
has played that.
Fuck you, Sims
Rainbow
4.
Six Siege, none of us bought it.
Oh, Six
You know,
Siege. Go
one
back.
note on Six Siege.
Okay.
That is the best multiplayer shooter that came out this year.
But
This is an
Overwatch.
editor's note.
But Overwatch.
That is not coming out this year. Didn't come out this year. Also, that's Team Fortress 2, bro. Rainbow Six Siege is awesome. Just what I was talking about earlier with innovation. Rainbow Six Siege has it in droves. It's a very slow-paced, almost
Here.
Counter-Strike-like experience. I really, really like it.
It looks, from the Let's Plays I've seen, it looks fantastic.
It's fantastic. It's so cool that you can shoot through multiple walls and make a little peephole to shoot somebody. You know, you can drill holes in walls with your chain gun or whatever and shoot people. You can modify the house to suit your defenses or your offenses or whatever mission you're doing. I don't know. It's just awesome, and it's got good asymmetrical elements. It's fun. I like it.
Mm.
Best multiplayer shooter this year. Next.
You haven't played it.
Me?
I'm looking in your Steam library right now.
I don't have it on Steam.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because like I kept on scrolling down. It's like, have you played this game? Are you plugging this game while at the same time simultaneously playing it less than you've played Mountain?
Hey, shut the fuck up, man. I love playing.
Okay. So yeah, Six Siege sounds good. I might get it. I don't know. Splatoon, we like it. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Super. I never played any of these games.
It just came out. It was a Christmas release.
Oh, okay.
I bought it. I played about 8 hours. It's if you liked any of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeons, you'll like this one. It's basically the same game.
Okay.
Same exact formula, no real deviations. Fun. This time you can pick your Pokemon at the start if you don't like the one it assigns you.
Hmm.
And,
Interesting.
So like it will give you a personality test and assign you a Pokemon in the previous ones. This one you get to choose. So if you'd rather be a Squirtle, you can
I
be
always just game the tests so I can be Pikachu. Not even gonna lie.
I used to answer them honestly, but it kept giving me Mudkip.
Fuck you,
And
Mudkip.
my original game, I was a
heard wrong.
Squirtle and my partner was a Charmander. So for the games that I could, I would play as a Squirtle and a Charmander. Makes me nostalgic. I like it. Next.
StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. I think I'm the only person who played it, and I really liked it, and the story was bad. Until Dawn is a horror movie, but you can yell at the screen.
And
it
hold
seems
really
pretty good.
still.
Quick time events horror movie.
But then you don't hold still and things eat you.
Yeah, there's
It's
also
it's basically a tame version of like all those QuickTime fighting games. Like
yeah.
Bayonetta or
Oh
Asura's
my
Wrath.
god, you were saying it's like a spectacle fighter.
Yeah, it's like a
Horror
spectacle fighter, but not.
You know, I actually am not gonna argue with that.
Okay, Blood Bowl 2,
Looks
interesting
cool,
strategy
don't own it.
game. Yeah, all of the Steam reviews were complaining about there not being enough teams, which is interesting. I don't know. And Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Unlike everyone else, I only played the campaign, and I thought it was okay. So,
Flops 3
mean-
looks interesting. I don't think I'll buy it.
apparently, the
I don't
zombies
think
mode is really good.
I think I'd pay $30 for it. $30 would be a price I'd pay for it. It's $40 on Steam right now, as of the day this video is not posted.
Cool. Okay.
The zombies
less
does
than
look pretty
AAA.
All
Less
right.
than AAA.
I don't know what this first one is.
Apotheon.
I can talk about this a little
Apotheon.
bit.
I played this game a good bit too. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I played a very little bit of this game because it was free on PlayStation Network, and it's. Have you guys played Prince of Persia before?
Yeah.
Like the side scroller ones.
Yeah.
It feels like that, except with a bit more of an in-depth combat system. It's kind of it's weird.
Apotheon
So
is
it's like Darksiders.
No.
Apotheon is
So it's not at all like the 3D Prince of Persia games, just like the 2D ones?
just like
Yeah.
the 2D.
Okay.
It's the best way to describe it is an incredibly stylistic Metroidvania.
I agree with that.
You travel around a 2D map. There's a lot of backtracking, and you pick up items that allow you to progress on the levels and all that stuff. And you upgrade your character. You get better swords, better armor, better shields. And
you know
it's a very cool game. Like just
the
the style is so neat.
the art that you get on the side of like old Roman pots.
Like the intro to Hercules.
Yeah.
That's basically the aesthetic. Actually, that is the aesthetic.
That's so fucking dope.
It's
it's pretty
pretty tight.
I love that.
I wish I had gotten around to playing more.
Did what's that game with the blue and the red, and it's a Metroidvania that came out this
Outland?
year?
I don't think Outland came out this year.
Oh, you
Oh.
don't think so? Okay, because that was
wait,
interesting.
wait. Is that the one where you can glitch things with your gun? Okay. Look, I've seen about 10 seconds of Bro Team Pill playing it, okay?
Okay.
I watched the stream for like an hour. or
No,
whatever.
Outland
I-
is another sword-based Metroidvania.
Okay.
This game came out in 2011.
Holy shit, that's really
Yeah.
impressive. It's actually really impressive for 2011.
Yeah, I watched Bro Team Pale play something interesting. It looked like an indie Metroidvania game with a cool aesthetic.
I thought this game came out this year. I'm so late to the game.
Shameless plug for Outland came out a
Yeah,
few years
it's
ago. Forrest and I played it a lot this year. It was
I have
really
yet
good.
to finish it, but it's because
Same.
it got really hard.
I just got stuck, yeah.
Okay, Audio Surf 2 came out. I'm assuming that's the same as Audio Surf 1 with updated graphics.
Okay, so as somebody who was recently gifted a copy of Audio Surf 2 and finally played it, honestly, it's a lot worse than Audio Surf 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
To be perfectly honest. All of the puzzle modes, Audio Surf had these very in-depth puzzle modes where you could play as different characters, not just running along the track picking up the colored ones, but, shuffling them into these blocky categories.
I always skipped those modes because they were hard.
They are hard, but they were very complicated and fun. And that's something that a lot of the community grew to love, and that's who was the top of the leaderboards because they were hard and interesting and strategic. Those modes have been absolutely gutted.
Oh.
May as well have been removed because the only real mode now is mono, which is great
Right.
if you play the game like I play the game.
Where you only
But-
play mono?
Right? Only play
Yeah.
mono because I want to watch pretty visuals while I
Listen to
watch
music.
this weird wubby, flopping up and down track and spinning and trippy visuals while I'm playing my music. It's just a cool way to experience, kind of like us. But yeah, it's good. The graphics are very, very good. They really look better than Audio Surf. The UI is very, very good. It's a lot better than Audio Surf. Just crappy like Unity
Oh,
UI.
man, don't even get me started.
And the tutorial, dude.
And the tutorial is better. But yeah, I mean, if you only play the mono mode, go for it. Otherwise, speaking on behalf of the community that dedicatedly plays Autosurf 1 for the puzzle modes, I would be mad at the developer for this. Because
Interesting.
they gutted the hardcore communities modes, and I don't like that when it happens to my games.
Long story short, play Osu instead. Moving on. Broforce
Oh yeah, that game was sweet.
I love
out of early
Broforce.
access, I think.
No,
Is that
Yeah.
what's on?
Broforce, yeah, came out of early access this year.
Okay. I just bought it during the winter sale. Like, I haven't played it yet, though.
It's hysterical. And the best part is it presents the story in a, like, map-based mission kind of thing, but at the same time there's a whole mode where you can turn all that shit off and just have level after level thrown at you. And it's really fun. And it's ridiculously hilarious in its hypermasculinity.
I think that, yeah.
Oh, that sounds excellent. Yeah.
And it has, I think, I know it has 2-player. I don't know if it goes up to 4, but I know for certain it has 2-player multiplayer. And I've been meaning to try and play multiplayer with someone just because it sounds like it'd be great.
Yeah, it sounds like an absolute blast. Get it? Because there are grenades. Anyway.
Aha, boom.
Call me sometime. I just bought it and I want to play it. So.
Call me sometime.
Call me, baby.
Here's my number.
And call me maybe!
No.
That
Okay.
didn't come out in 2015. That can't go on our Games of the Year list.
So, Crypt of the Necrodancer came out. That game's beautiful.
Katy
Yeah,
Perry's
game's
best game of the year.
excellent. Very, very fun. It's really fucking hard.
Fuck yeah, yeah.
Like, for some reason, like, as soon as I got to the second, like, area thing,
Uh-huh.
it got really fucking hard. Like, and
It's
I'm not
fucking-
bad. I'm pretty good at, like, Rogue and the really, really hard crawls. I cannot get the hang of that second level pass.
I think the strategy for getting good at it is just to like play as Bard a lot, and then try later. I don't know. Yeah, it's a really really cool game. You can put custom music in it, although I actually really don't recommend it because it messes up with the balance of the game very heavily.
Yep. I
Because
had that issue.
you put in like a different song, and it'll figure out the tempo of that song. But the tempo of the song adjusts the tempo of the game, and the tempo of the game adjusts the difficulty, and that can really fuck your shit.
Or the opposite.
Or the opposite, yeah.
It can be way too easy. Like, if you put in your awesome grindcore banger, then you're probably going to have a bad time. And if you put in
As you do.
that slow waltz, then you're going to have a bad time because it's not going to be fun because it's going to be too easy.
I'm gonna buy this
No, it's
game.
not going to be fun because you're playing Crypt of the Necrodancer to a slow waltz.
I'm gonna buy Crypt of the Necrodancer and play it entirely with Gabber music
You can.
Oh my god. No,
at
dude. You gotta play it
220
entirely. No, dude. Entirely with extra tone.
Um.
My favorite genre.
Yeah, Crypt of the Necrodancer is like one of the highest rated games on Steam, up there with One Finger Death Punch. So like,
Dude, One Finger
Wait,
Death Punch was
wait. Undertale isn't the highest rated game on Steam.
Oh, I
game's
think-
got massive hype right now.
I think actually Undertale is. Okay, moving on. Duck Game. I played that for the first time today. I had a friend over and we just did couch co-op Duck Game. Holy fucking shit! That was some of the most fun I've had in a couch co-op game like ever. It's so interesting because a lot of the times when you die, it's because something random happened, and I haven't gotten. I find in a lot of couch co-op games, like a lot of the ones where they require a lot of strategy, like Star Whale, for example.
Mhm.
I find myself getting really salty when I die in those games because I feel like the strategy is there's so much strategy to it. I think Duck Game is interesting because while there is a lot of strategy to it, there's also a lot of randomness. And it's just amazing. It's
There-
just really fun.
Is there online
like-
multiplayer for Duck Game?
There is online.
There
multiplayer.
is.
Fuck, you just sold me. I'm gonna buy that.
In
game.
fact, we're gonna buy Duck Game. You know what we're gonna do tonight after we record this video? We're gonna go play Duck Game.
Okay,
So
cut that.
that is exactly how we feel about it.
Maybe
It's
don't
up
cut
on
that.
the list. What?
Okay. Nothing. Okay, yeah. Grego is on here. So people said good things about this game. I did not like it.
I didn't want to buy it.
And
It didn't interest me.
yeah,
It's too expensive for the kind of game it is for me.
I feel here's the thing, right? Is I bought Grey Goo a little bit after I got into watching competitive StarCraft and thinking I want to be good at an RTS, but StarCraft is a bit too fast, and I've heard that Grey Goo is basically StarCraft but slower. So I got it, started playing through the campaign. I feel like they throw you into it a bit too fast story wise, so it's hard to get in sync with like what the story really is. And also, um, I had difficulty distinguishing, figuring out like what each of the units were and what their role on the field was, because one of my favorite things about the very first StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void, or not Legacy of the Void, Wings of Liberty campaign, is that the way each mission worked is that they'd introduce one new unit to you each mission at a time. And basically, if you just built that unit, you could beat the mission. And the amazing thing with that was it meant that you figured out what each unit's specific role was as you went through each mission. And this, it basically just gives you everything from the start, which for me is quite overwhelming. I don't know. People seem to like this game, and people are still making maps for it on the workshop, so I don't know. Grey Goo, it's an RTS. It's not bad. Moving on. Grow Home is amazing. Next.
Grow Home looked cool, and I still haven't bought it yet just because I'm stupid.
I haven't
Um,
got it yet either.
I want
What
to
is
get
it?
So you know how in Verity you grow plants?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do in Grow Home.
You're an alien and you fall from you're an alien robot and you fall from your
Yes.
spaceship and you need to get back by growing plants.
Back
And
up to your
it's-
spaceship.
It's basically this cute little exploration game that just has a lot of color and emotion to it.
That sounds
I-
nice.
Yeah, I played not Grey Goo. I've got my cursor on it. I played Grow Home for, I think, like for 2 days. It was like the only game I played, and then I was pretty much done with it. What I love about that game is like you've got a little bit of flight capabilities on your little robot, but not very much. And most of your objectives are focused on getting from floating island to floating island, and just doing stuff on the floating islands. What I loved about Grow Home is that because you're going to each floating island, you had to grow your plant out to each of those islands. And so to get pretty much anywhere, you had to grow your plant out there. And so by the end of the game, because your plant persists, you've got like this huge plant that basically is a catalog of everywhere that you've gone. And that's really fucking cool. That's the kind of like progression and building stuff that I really like in games. So I'd say if you're a fan of like relaxing games, and building games, strangely enough, Grow Home is going to be really cool. Human Resource Machine. Learn how to write assembly. It's a really cute game made by the guys who made what's that game? Little Inferno. It's cute. You can learn how to write it.
Looks pretty
Yeah?
cute, yeah.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, you can write assembly code, and it's cute and cool. Anyway, I didn't play Infinifactory.
Infinifactory is another game that I think looks really cool, but I just haven't got around to buying yet. And it's like a strangely dark factory tile based puzzle game where you're given like a set of tiles that you can place conveyor belts, teleporters, assemblers, gluers, welders, all that stuff. And you have to take an input and change it around so it matches an output and get it there. And it's got this weirdly dark storyline to it that honestly I would get it just to see the end.
Really?
I kind of want to just see how it goes and see how it turns out.
That's interesting. I didn't know
I mean,
that.
just that sentence is a really good sell for the game because, you know, with a game with a premise like that, you don't think of it as having a particularly interesting story. But if it's so interesting that you would buy it just to see the end, that's just super interesting.
I didn't know that came out. I thought it was still in
Dude,
early
this is
access.
literally just Minecraft, bro.
It is
But,
basically. It's
it's
voxel factory building.
This is literally just modded Minecraft, and honestly, that kind of sounds like fun.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. $25 seems super steep.
I think it's a pretty
Well,
long game, though.
$12.50 sounds much more reasonable
Mm-mm.
on Steam sale. All right, Jotun. I didn't know
play
play
it.
I just got this game, Jotun, and it is probably the prettiest game I've played. Dare I say ever? It's
I
all,
s-
it's all hand drawn, like top down kind of action game, and it's very similar to that game that you liked a lot, Titan Souls, Forrest. Except instead of like a bow, you're just a chick with a giant axe.
I thought you were gonna say like instead of being bad, it's good.
That too. Instead of being bad, it's good. And like but the problem is the controls are kind of infuriating, and there's just some bits about it that are slow. Your character runs slow, she swings slow. There's just a rhythm to the game that I feel like if I learned it, I could get into it. But for right now, I can't feel the rhythm, and it's just kind of it's a barrier for entry that's kind of hard.
This
But
game is hot.
the very first boss battle that showed up, it's that plant lady. If you're looking at the screens, I'll probably put some footage up. It's
Ooh,
it's
she's disgusting.
it surprised me with just how interesting the boss battle ended up being. Cause like the world you run around in is kind of small and things are compact and close together. But then you get to this giant fucking fight, and it was just really interesting.
This game looks amazing.
Yeah, it's
This game
very pretty.
I mean, honestly, for some reason, I'm just looking at the screenshots they have up here on the store page. I'm just not as blown away with the look.
Why?
I
mean-
can completely understand that. Everything is hand drawn, and so it can look a little funky.
Yeah, it's totally a subjective thing. I just don't think the aesthetic is just amazing to me. I think some of these scenes are absolutely incredible looking, like the second to last screenshot, or no, not the second to last screenshot. The fourth from the last and the fifth from the last.
What do they look
The one
like?
with like the blue dragon and the ropey looking.
Oh, the one with what's his name?
And the one with the guy,
Nighthawk?
Nighthawk,
Yeah.
who inhabits the root, and the one with the raven. What I'm assuming is one of Odin's ravens up on the tree branch. Those look awesome to me, but I'm just not like blown away by the weird planty monster.
It probably looks better animated, but
It
I'm
probably
just
does.
guessing.
It looks so good animated.
Oh God.
Or hand drawn, the animation is very fluid.
Mhm.
Yeah, this seems like a game that'd be right up my alley as a huge fan of Shadow of the Colossus, because I love them big bosses and pretty art.
mhm. Okay. Jotun, Lovers in the Dangerous Space Time.
This game's fucking awesome.
I like
Like,
it.
I haven't talked about a game in a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me just shoot on this one.
Yeah, I haven't heard of this one.
So, Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time is, it wasn't exactly a big release, and it didn't have the super hype that Undertale did, but I think this is easily one of the better indie games that came out this year. You control a ship, but instead of controlling the ship with, just like left, right, up, down from one seat, there are different machines inside the ship that you operate, like the shield machine and the movement machine. And so, playing together or with a friend, you operate these and attempt
I just wanna
areas.
go back for a second. Playing together or with a friend.
Oh, my bad. Playing together with a friend or alone, you operate these machines in your ship, and it's kind of like a round ship, or whatever other ones you can unlock.
It's only round.
Well, there are other ones you can unlock. They're really
They're all
shaped.
round.
They're all sort of round.
No, they're all straight up round.
I thought
Maybe
there was
there's
one
just
that was
there's just some that don't show in the
Anyway.
screenshots.
Yeah. There's some that they don't show in the screenshots that are differently shaped, but they're mostly just round. Don't look it up, dude. Just anyway, there are ships. Point is the game is really, really fun. It's another couch co-op game, or you can play. I believe you can play it online, but I'm not 100% certain. And I thought it had a very interesting game concept of a more realistic ship with a crew.
It doesn't have online co-op.
It does not have online co-op.
No, it
Okay.
does not show up under the tags.
Have you guys played it?
Yeah, I've played it.
Okay, I played it with my girlfriend, and it was kind of amazing. It was really good.
That's fucking adorable.
It's really cute. I shipped it.
Thanks. Yes.
I ship
that's-
you and that game.
Okay. Yeah, it was a blast, and we want to get together and play it again because yeah, it's really, really good. The way that you guys have both played what's it called? Guns of Icarus online, right?
Yeah.
Not with friends,
Yeah.
but yes.
It's basically that, but 2D and cute.
It looks
Yeah,
adorable.
it's adorable.
Yeah, and also just the way that the fact that because you've only got 2 people instead of wearing Guns of Icarus, you've got 4. It means that there's a lot more teamwork and you can focus on a lot more stuff. And it's a bit more casual, but sometimes it can get like really intense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just-
pretty. I found it to be not challenging.
Just thinking of like how that would play out with you two, like getting all excited and yelling at each other and all that kind of stuff. It reminds me a lot of that one mobile game. Oh shit!
Screen cheat.
No,
No?
the mobile
Keep talking
game.
and nobody explodes.
No, it's the one where it's just on phones. You connect your phones and it's a spaceship.
Oh! I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, I
off
can't remember the
hand.
name of it for the life of me, but the gameplay is it's like you each have a control panel in front of you and you get commands that show up on your screen. Except the commands are not for you, they're for other people. And so you can have 2 to 4. And the most fun I had was with 3. And so you're just frantically yelling at each other these buttons and switches and crew members you need to eject just to try and keep your spaceship alive from being devoured in a black hole and make it to the next sector. And just the franticness and the hecticness that I hope that game would bring out sounds like it'd be a lot of fun with a friend.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Also, it will test if you have a significant other, then. And oh, I gotta sneeze.
Is good.
I turned off my mic because I had to cough.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't. Sorry.
Oh man, your volume just adjusted.
Yeah, if you've got like a friend or significant other, then you will be able to test your ability to work together on things to the maximum extreme, and it's amazing. It's buy this game. It's on Xbox One also.
I thought it was on Wii U too. Yeah, I
I
thought
don't
it
think
had
so.
some weird. I thought it had some weird thing where it was on Wii U.
Okay, I don't know. As far as I know, it's only on PC and Xbox One, but that
Because
might
that game seems like it would be fucking sweet on Wii U.
be...
That's
With the
true.
gamepad.
Ooh,
Anyway.
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I know,
Okay.
that sound awesome.
Magica 2, how is that different from Magica?
Alright, I played about the first 2.5 levels of Magicka 2. And the problem I have with it is that it just gets kind of... It feels less like Magicka and more like the Magicka Wizard Wars, in where your character is now like incredibly squishy. And I think playing single player probably makes it next to impossible to actually finish the game, even though there's now a single self-revive. It's just because you always have to run around with like 4 different kinds of shield up. You always have to make sure you're protected against everything, and then the areas which you can fight is now a tiny little one-screen box, comparatively to Magicka 2, where it's like, oh fuck, I'm being overrun. I can now sprint off the edge of the map a little bit. And I don't know, it's a fun game. The spell combinations are interesting, and it's got that same humor, and everything about it is silly and stupid, and I love it. But I can't play it.
Okay.
As somebody who hated Magicka 1 with no justifiable reason. Yeah, I didn't buy it. I hate you.
What is this game N++? I've
N++
never heard.
is the
Yes.
sequel to the game N, the Flash game N, where you're a ninja and you run, and it's platforming that's entirely momentum based.
Is this on Steam?
I believe it is.
I believe it is on Steam or your regional equivalent.
I can't find it.
It's weird.
How's
You're
it
right.
spelled?
When you just Google N++ on here, it does not work.
Well,
Uh,
I know it's this time it's actually a paid full game as compared to it's just a Flash game.
Well, N++ was free.
okay, I found the Wikipedia
Available now
page.
on PS4.
Only PlayStation 4.
Only
Oh,
PS4.
Yeah.
shoot, I didn't know that. Well, it looks like it's basically more N. And it looks good. It's just I don't know if I'm going to get it because it's I know it's going to frustrate me to no end. I had to take a break from Super Meat Boy not too long ago because I just kept yelling at the screen and it was upsetting my cats.
Oh.
It's fucking adorable. I actually love N+. Big fan. But yeah, it looks like exactly the same thing.
I
With
think
more mechanics.
there are
More
ways it
mechanics.
did improve significantly though because Nerdcube I think put this on one of his top not poop games of the year.
Not
Not
games.
poop games of the year.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Um.
Ori and the
Next
Blind
up, we got
Forest
another pretty game.
is very pretty looking. This is another one that I need to just get around and freaking pull the trigger and buy.
Oh.
Now this one is something that I would be like, wow.
Oh.
It's
I
very
really, it's very aesthetic.
Oh.
But yeah, I was turned
Oh.
off this one because it had a big publisher.
Oh.
And there's something about big publishers
Oh.
and indie games that makes me not want to buy them.
Oh.
Apparently, this one's pretty good.
Yeah, it's got an overwhelmingly positive review right now. And
I'm sorry, I've just been moaning this entire time.
I had a friend that bought it that says it was the most fantastic thing she's ever played and that I need to get it. And
Yeah.
it's been sitting on my wish list probably since it came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess that means I'm the only one who played it.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah. There's a thing at the beginning that's apparently like really freaking sad and everyone cries at it. I didn't really cry at it, but I was very sad about it.
Oh, is
so
there a sad thing? I don't want to
there's a sad at the beginning, but
I don't
then
want to be a sad.
but after and if you see like any screenshot from the game and like look at the beginning and know that there's a sad that happens, like you pretty much see it coming, but it's a big sad. Anyway, so there's a sad at the beginning of the game, and it's a really let me just say this for one thing, it's made in Unity. Like freaking go to the Steam page, look at the visuals.
It's in Unity.
It's in Unity.
It's
and
not Unity. It's Unity.
whatever.
Unity.
Oh my
You realize
god.
that's a pun, right? I'm not
Oh, I know.
switching your pronunciation. That's just a really bad pun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like there's so much detail put into every bit of that game. It's a Metroidvania platformer.
Yeah.
It's been a few of those this list.
And like holy fucking shit. It looks so good, and they have some really interesting, like, you know, at the beginning it's your basic like you run and jump, you've got wall jump, you've got double jump, like, you know, your classic stuff. But then there's a few abilities that they add into the game that make it really interesting, and especially like check out some speed runs of this game, because the way that they've made this game helpful to speedrunners, like there's whole chunks of the game that you can just completely skip, which I always like about speedruns. But
A la Antichamber.
like this game it's just get it and play it because it's beautiful, and just the platforming and the visuals are really good, and it's not too hard. Like a lot of these kinds of games are insanely hard, and this is not that hard. So yeah.
That's a
Shadowrun
downside
Hong
for me.
Kong, I didn't play that.
I played Shadowrun Hong Kong, and this is probably the best Shadowrun game that's come out, in my opinion. It's got that, it's got that whole XCOM style combat and all that stuff, and the combat feels really nice and fluid. And especially now that I know how the game works and how the game plays, it feels very nice. And my character this time is very fun. And but the story and like the dialogue and all the characters chatting This is probably one of the first games in a while that's made me stop and actually read everything the characters are saying and stop and explore all the additional dialogue paths just to actually hear what they're saying instead of just get more quests. And I appreciate this game a lot. This was a very good game, and it's very story rich, and but it's definitely not for people that don't like reading. If you want a very action focused game that's very fast paced and has very little dialogue, skip this one.
Okay, we could do the next two like in
Together,
the same thing. Yeah.
Well,
'Cause these are
almost,
both-
because well, yeah, we can do them together. We'll
They're
do
the Telltale games that came out this year.
yeah.
Basic overview: Tales from the Borderlands is apparently really, really good.
Oh my
Telltale.
God, Tales from the Borderlands was so good. I love it.
Game of Thrones is apparently kind of disappointing.
Yeah, that's what I heard
And-
too.
Yeah.
But
I didn't
Tales
play
from the
either.
Borderlands was so good. Oh my God. Like, I wanted to space it out so I didn't play all the game in one sitting. So I played Chapter 1 one day, and I thought, alright, I'll wait a couple days and play Chapter 2. The next day I played Chapter 2 basically first thing when I woke up. Then I'm like, alright, I have to stop now. So then I played Chapter 3 the next day. Then I played 4, 5, and 6 immediately afterwards. I could... Well, no, 4 and 5 immediately afterwards. I couldn't stop myself. It was just so good, and I just wanted to see what happened next. This game was very good. Tales from the Borderlands was very good.
That's cool. It's really cool. Awesome.
Titan Souls.
I guess, Nicholas, I don't think you played it.
I did not. I heard
Okay.
you complain about it.
God,
I didn't complain about it. I
You heard
think,
me complain about it.
Yes, you did.
You complained about the respawns.
well, that's because I was stupid.
I
Dude,
complained
heard
about every
it's for
mechanic.
like 20 minutes. And then you found the teleporter.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
Not-
basically there was a boss that I died, and I thought that the respawn point for the boss was like a mile away, but it was actually like right outside the door, and I just missed it. So that happened.
I played this game twice. Once I got to the first boss, and well, not the first boss, but I went into one of the bosses, and I couldn't wrap my brain around it, and I didn't like the dodge roll. Or as a Dark Souls player, I just really didn't like the dodge roll or anything. I didn't like anything of it, so I just stopped playing it. Second time I went through and beat the first 3 bosses. I went to fight the first like kind of major boss, I guess, the first area boss
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And his mechanic was interesting, and the mechanics of the bosses, I'm gonna say this, are interesting. The game is interesting and cool, but I hate it. I just because the game will just murder you for no reason without letting you know first. And it's not like a game where it's like you have health, it pokes you and you go, "Oh, I'm not supposed to do that." It's not like putting your hand on a burner going, "Ow, fuck, I'm not doing that again." It's like walking up to an oven that's on, grabbing the knob, turning it up higher, then shoving your face into the fire and going, "Huh, this is interesting," and then dying on the spot. I hate it.
But you could like respawn and go right back and figure it out.
hate
You like Dark Souls.
Because Dark Souls has it pokes you and you go, "No, don't do that." It has the second chance. You need that learn by second chance. If you don't have that learn by second chance, you don't learn and the game is stupid.
Okay. See, what I think is that your point is stupid and completely invalid
Oh!
because that's what respawning is for, and most of the respawn points are like only a second or so away. So once you die, you just can get right back into it and figure out and work from your mistake.
You also can't
That's
roll
all.
upstairs, which irritates me. But okay,
Uh,
fine. My hatred for this game is completely irrational and unjustified, but I'm going to stand by it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was really
I
irrational.
played through the whole game, got to the final boss.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Shit.
I finished the game, and now I want to do a second playthrough because once you've finished the game, they unlock hard mode where all of the bosses have been changed slightly, and also you can see the real name of the boss, so it's in English instead of Titan language, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's basically Shadow of the Colossus, but 2D.
And it
With-
doesn't have that health bar that lets you learn by poke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a
It's-
whole video on Learn by Poke.
It's
Learn by
one
Poke.
shot, one kill. It's one shot to kill you, and it's one shot to kill the bosses. I think that's really cool. There are
Alright.
like 18, 19 bosses, I think. Anyway.
Transformers Devastation.
Oh, okay. Alphabetic, I see.
Alphabetical. Well, this one's a shoe-in. Platinum Games' release for this year was Transformers Devastation. It was a total left field game. No one really expected a Transformers game, much less a Transformers game in the style of like the 1980s Transformers comics.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
I saw
No
some
one
gameplay of
fucking
this.
expected this.
Looks pretty.
But it's awesome. It's like really good. Like Platinum Games just invented the Spectacle Fighter, and they make Spectacle Fighters, and they continue to make Spectacle Fighters every single year. This one is a Platinum Games game. It's good. It doesn't have that much content. It's
You can
kind
be a
of-
dinosaur.
It's a little repetitive because all Platinum games, their replayability comes from like these little missions, and apparently it doesn't have much boss variety. Other than that, it's got a cool art style and it's Platinum games. So if you like Platinum games, pick this sucker up. It's $50 or $33 on the Steam sale.
Cool.
Very faithful to old school Transformers too. You get like those 1980s, you know, ridiculously ornate swords and dumb stuff.
Mhm.
It's cool. Yeah, I just wanted to shoot that one in. Trine 3.
Trine 3. I didn't play it
I haven't played
because
it.
Total Biscuit said it was bad.
I didn't play it because I am poor.
Cool. Well, moving on.
I mean, it looks pretty.
So yeah, I guess then
Wait, is
our
it
last.
3D?
Yes, it's 3D.
Oh,
And then also 2D. Yeah.
Do you mind
Oh,
if we
that's-
flip the alphabetical order because I'm gonna go on for a little while about
Yeah,
this.
Well, no,
we're-
I'm just gonna. No, I mean, there's only one more game on the list, and that's Victor Vran. That's the only other game that came out this year.
Yep, Victor Ran.
Victor Vran. I didn't play it.
I've played a couple hours of Victor Vran, and I think, while it's not the best ARPG I've played,
Can't you jump in it?
it's
can jump.
it's
Innovation, my boy.
No, but like, look, it's different.
it's one of the most interesting ARPGs I've played. It's different. It's got that like weird feel, and then it kind of has that Guild Wars-y weapons are skills based system, which I personally like that system. And so like you equip a shotgun, you get 3 shotgun skills, and you equip a laser rifle, and you get, well, I guess electricity gun, and you get 3 electricity gun skills, and then there's a variety of weapons, your standard loot color drops, and it's interesting. It's cool. I don't know. It's not particularly amazing or, well, good, but it's very interesting and very cool. And also it's voice acted by the guy who does The Witcher, who always does an amazing job with all his roles.
Which Witcher? Like
Witcher,
what character in The Witcher?
the Witcher, who does
Geralt.
yeah, Geralt. And
Oh, that's cool.
it's
You have-
it's pretty
you
cool.
have-
Really the biggest pet peeve I have with it is sometimes they speak in rhyming couplets, but sometimes they don't. Pick one and stick with it, please.
I just want to comment for a moment that there's currently a stream on Twitch with 5,000 viewers playing Zelda Minish Cap. # best Zelda game. # underrepresented.
Hashtag worst Zelda game.
Snap.
Okay, it's not. The Face
All
Zelda
right,
Evil is
and
worse.
so that's
Yeah,
all the
that's
games
it.
that came
That's
out
all
this
the
year.
games.
So
yeah, there are no other
there's
games.
no other games that came out this year, especially not on my list here.
Especially not Undertale. Oops, I'm sorry. Did I just give it away?
Oh no, that's
Oh
the
my-
joke.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Yep, Undertale.
Rant, Nicholas.
All right, I'm
Rant
gonna go
your
take a
heart
piss, so you guys have fun.
out.
Oh
Okay,
really? You didn't play it?
No, I didn't play Undertale. I'm not
Oh,
not gonna
okay,
play
so-
Undertale.
Yeah, sweet. We get to circle jerk about this game.
Okay, Nicholas, you've only played 2 hours of this game.
Yeah, and I fucking love it.
How?
How?
You only played 2 hours. All the interesting stuff is at the end,
That
and in multiple
is
playthroughs.
definitely wrong. I've been playing it on my own time. I don't like to experience any kind of story-driven game when there are other people around, and I've been pretty busy, and I just picked it up.
Okay.
But yeah, I fucking love it so far. Just gush about it for a little while. Undertale is my favorite indie game of the year. so
Yeah.
far. I didn't want to buy it for the longest period of time because has an awful Tumblr fan base, and they are terrible.
I disagree that they are terrible, but go on.
They're real bad.
Why?
Making up like genders, sexual orientations, humanizing the characters, drawing porn of skeletons, etc.
Okay. I won't get into social justice right now. Anyway.
It's not even a social justice thing. It's literally just making shit up.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's excellent.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I think is really interesting is the way that it does story and the way that the graphics and the story work together, because it's an interesting thing, like, because recently I played Pokemon X, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part at the very end of Pokemon X, you have a cutscene where like there's some just no spoilers because people care about spoilers. There's the thing in...
Okay, look, we're just gonna put a spoiler warning here.
No, I just won't spoil it.
Oh, okay.
It's just a thing that happens, and instead of being in the in-game engine, they use they use the in-battle engine, which means that they can't have quite as much stuff on the screen at once, and it's basically all of the characters who their models look better because it's the battle engine, but they are on like this really low resolution, shapeless, textureless background.
Okay.
And it's just awful. It's really weird. Like, they try and do these like camera angles, but like it's messed. Like, while it's a cool camera angle, it's messed up by the fact that like you can tell that the background just looks like shit, and like the audience that's supposedly there is literally just a flat picture.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about Undertale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just went on a tangent about Pokemon to make a point. And you compare this to like the old Pokemon games, where like the finale was just in the overworld engine and you just had sprites walking around, and like the only way that the sprites can really like move is they can like look different directions and
They have little exclamation marks and stuff.
yeah, and have like little emotes above their head, but that's it really. And to me, and this is the way that Undertale does it as well, is a lot more powerful to me than, and it gives a message in its own way that 3D games or like more cinematic looking games can't give. Like when you're just talking to one of the skeleton people, and just like they'll be facing you for a while, and then they'll give a few lines facing away from you. That's really interesting when they're facing away from you. The amount of power that just rotating the sprite a little bit does is really neat, and that I think that was something that benefited Undertale's storytelling a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played much. I'm only 2 hours in. I can't really say anything for fear of spoiling it, but honestly, just the way this game has made me, not only has made me feel, even just with the dialogue and, you know, the characters and the UI, what I'm most blown away by in Undertale has been the UI. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, the UI, it's that thing that tells you what your HP is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's that thing that shows you your cursor, your reticle in a shooter game, or your ammo or whatever, and it's there for the pure convenience of the player. Undertale plays with the UI.
Mm-hmm.
The UI is a storytelling method. And to me, I think that games are at their peak as an art form when you utilize the game mechanics to tell the story. Undertale sets its own rules, breaks its own rules, works within its universe
And it breaks its own rules in a really good way because
in a good way.
I've seen games break rules in a bad way, and it's just the worst.
Yeah.
Like
It's truly a game that I felt was like a lot of the stuff was very unexpected. The game the game itself interacts with you on like a player meta level that you don't see very often in games. And as you play it, like they expect you to do certain things. So, if you're a player like me, I like to play old school RPGs. Big fan of Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound. The game this Undertale is basically based on. It's Earthbound. And I'm one of those players who likes to explore every nook and cranny, take every dialogue option, get every item, kill every enemy, max level, whatever. In Undertale, it kind of reads what kind of player you are, and it has specific things prepared for you. So, like, in one part in the beginning of the game, this isn't really a spoiler because it's like within the first 5 minutes, you can accidentally fall down one of these like 10 holes or whatever, and you're supposed to not fall down them. And then you can see one with a switch in it and one with like a little treasure chest in it. And you go and you grab the thing out of this treasure chest, and there's a sign on the wall, and the exact dialogue I believe is like, "How did you see me?"
oh, that's neat.
And I flipped it. I was like, "Whoa, okay, this game kind of knows like what I'm doing."
That's
And
pretty cool.
the game has a lot of stuff like that I really enjoyed. Like, if you read the sign that tells you how to do one of the puzzles, and then you do the puzzle and come back to the sign, it says, "Yep, you read it right." The
That's
sign's
pretty
text changes. It's awesome. I love it.
That's actually really interesting because I missed those parts while I was playing the game.
Dude, you gotta play it a couple extra times. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna do all the runs. And
You can't do all the runs in that game. There's a lot of there's only a few endings, but like if you want to like do everything in the game,
I'm
like
going
after
to do
playing
everything.
through it once, like. And the thing is like you could say I played through it once, but like I technically didn't. The game is like as I'm playing through my second time right now, like the game is like very clearly saying like this is your second run through. So
Yeah, I mean the whole. Oh man, I can't spoil the plot or anything. But
yeah.
yeah, the actual plot, like there are some plot points that, and some elements, the game remembering what you did in your other playthroughs is part of the plot.
Yeah.
Like that's not really a spoiler to tell you that, but it affects the plot, and you don't really come to the conclusion of the plot within one playthrough.
Also, there are gay castle guards.
Also,
Game of the year.
there are gay castle guards. Also, there's a dog, and he has 5 options when you act upon him. You can either pet him, you can pet him, you can pet him, you can pet him, or you can pet him.
I forgot about that.
I love it.
Oh god.
It's not just funny. It's also very, very sad.
And who is the one who we owe
Yeah.
our lives, the one who protects us and shelters us every day? The answer is always
I
the
don't know.
overseer.
The answer is always the overseer. But I mean, this game takes me from laughing to crying and back and forth, and I haven't really felt that much emotion about a game that was, sad or glad and not just kind of like hype in a very, very long time. Basically since Earthbound or maybe Shadow of the Colossus, I haven't really felt that much emotion when playing a video game. And I think for that reason alone, you have to give this game credit.
Awesome.
So, Dylan, why don't you want to play this game?
I don't think I'm gonna get like the point from it. It doesn't interest me.
That's completely fair.
I think what you should do is I didn't think I was gonna like it just because of the people that like it in as a whole, but I highly recommend you try it. Play the first 60 minutes or whatever, then do a Steam refund if you don't like it.
Mm,
Because
what he
this
said.
game is a game that I think every gamer should play this year. You know, I just don't think it's I think it really crossed the boundary between a game that you play because of its genre and a game that you play because it's just so good.
All
And
right.
I don't know. I can't really plug this game enough. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do later after we finish. I'm gonna play this game for
I thought we were
5
gonna play Duck
hours.
Game.
No, after Duck Game. After you guys both go to bed, I'm gonna play this game until 7 in the morning.
Sweet.
Because I'm addicted.
Okay.
It's great.
All right. For you, I'll give it a shot.
Thanks, babe. I love you.
Okay, so we should wrap up because I think we're going on
2 hours.
All right, but wait.
a little bit less.
Before we end, notice the 3 top 10. If you can guess which column is yours. I'm going to what I'm going to do is after I finish saying the sentence, I'm going to make however long I take to say this, I'm going to make a hard cut to when we have our top 10 games. So there's no like spoilers as we're typing it out. Well, top 10 or I guess top 5. I don't know if I can pick 10. I'm only going to do 5.
Okay.
But
Can we do it in no particular order?
well, I'm going to do it in a particular order.
Okay.
And so the best game will be, if you want to do no particular order, we can say that. But I'm going to do in a particular order, the best game being the very top one here. And then going down through these 5 squares. And then I'm going to cut to when we finish our lists. And we can have a little discussion there if we want.
Okay. Shall we go?
And cut.
Uncut.
Uncut.
All right, we got it all together.
We did it.
We did it. We did it, Reddit. We saved the internet.
I'm objectively better than making lists than these two.
I would
It's
have
true.
I would have a top 10 if I felt like these games deserve to be on a list. They're good games, but I just don't feel like any of them. I didn't enjoy them enough, or I didn't play them enough for them to actually make it onto a list.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And,
didn't play enough of these.
In the interest of time, let's just we can just each go through our lists in the order that they're on the paper until like just go through them and then be done.
All right.
All right.
Start from the bottom and work your way up to number 1.
Ooh, I like it.
All right. All right. Drum roll, please. Number 10, we've got
Ow.
the Necrodancer. Number 9, we've got Overwatch Beta. I know it didn't come out this year. Shut the fuck up. I liked it. God of Blobs 3 Beta.
You didn't play it.
Overwatch Beta?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Oh. When? How? I want to play it.
They had some machines for it at this like mini convention thing I went to.
Oh, okay. Neat. Okay, go on.
Yeah, it was neat, but I only played like a couple hours. COD Blobs 3 Beta. This is just pure enjoyment, by the way. I had so much fun during those 20 hours. Victor Vran, great ARPG, very fun. Splatoon, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Super, I'm loving it so far. We got The Witcher 3, incredible game. Duck Game, so fun. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and at the top of my list, Undertale. Next.
Okay. From the bottom to the top, Lovers and Dangerous Space Time, StarCraft: Legacy of the Void, Bloodborne, Crypt of the Necrodancer, Grow Home, Duck Game, Titan Souls, Ori and the Blind Forest, Undertale, and Witcher 3.
And then for me, number 6 of 5 is Mad Max. And then number 5 would be Bloodborne. Number 4 would be Witcher 3. Number 3 would be Just Cause 3. Number 2 is Fallout 4. And then a surprise win from something that's actually not a AAA game. Number 1, Tales from the Borderlands.
Honestly, we had one from each category here. We've got a Big 3 winner.
Mm-hmm.
We've got an indie winner. And oh, never mind. We've got a basically indie, or we basically got 2 less than AAAs.
Yeah, you suck.
Dude, I don't totally suck because Tales from the Borderlands is basically a AAA game.
More or less.
Anyway, one true indie game, one like smallish game, and then one big AAA game.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But like, to be completely honest, Sakura Kicker, Game of the Year.
Oh, Game of the Year. for
Okay,
sure.
yeah, definitely.
Actually, Honey Pop.
Did that come out this year?
It did not come out this year. I don't believe, but I love it. And
Honey Pop wins Game of the Year every year.
if you check out my super sweet Steam achievement showcase on my Steam profile,
Hang
you
on, let
will
me pull
see.
it up.
This game did come out in game did come out this year. It came out in January.
Okay, remember how COD Black Ops 3 beta was on my list? It is no longer on my list. Now it is Honey Pop.
Oh dear.
Because it turns out I actually love this game.
Okay, cool.
Also, I got the best achievement ever. V card
Awesome.
revoked. I have an achievement for lost my virginity.
Holy shit.
Anyway, that's about wrapped up our Top Game 2015 video. That was loud typing.
Yeah, that's because I have a mechanical keyboard.
I do too, but it's not that loud.
I do too.
I thought I was gonna say we forgot "Long Live the Queen," but that came out in 2012.
Dude, I have fucking red switches. How can your computer be louder than mine?
Honestly, red switches aren't that tactile.
I have a very sensitive mic, just like all of my other sensitive things. Anyway, yeah, I think that'll be it. And fuck Konami.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
we forgot a game.
What?
It's a game I liked.
Nicholas, we're done. I already said fuck Konami.
No!
We're done.
God damn it! I hate you.
What game?
Let me just stick it in, okay?
You could stick it in anytime you want.
Warhammer Vermintide.
Oh yeah, that was a game.
It was awesome.
Total Biscuit liked it.
I like it too.
Cool.
I didn't
All
play
right.
it.
All right.
I didn't play it either. Okay, we're done. Thank you,
Okay.
everybody. Fuck
Thanks.
Konami.
Fuck
And